So we're talking about vacations, and we've talked about driving. We've talked about taking care of the car that you're going to be in. But what about the vehicle that flies you there, or a cruise that takes you there on the water, and there happens to be out of this country? Are you comfortable knowing the laws of your destination? Whoop, don't answer, because I think maybe we might have some surprises for you. Don Alvarez from Radix Law. As we prepare for our vacations, Don, though, how do we prepare ourselves to know the laws of another country? We can't go to law school for France.
That's true. You go on the State Department website, and they have a list of all the countries, and you can click on that country, particular country that you're going to travel to, and they'll give you an outline of what the laws might be. And some of the things you might want to look at are not only the laws, the local laws of the country, but what are their requirements to get into the country?
The passports, visas, that kind of thing.
Correct,
right?
Absolutely.
Don't we automatically assume that if we have an American passport that we can travel anywhere and nobody?
That's the American ego, but no, that's not true. What happens is each country typically has their own visa requirements, and sometimes those visas take up to 90 days or more to get. So if you're going to plan a trip to Europe or some other country, you need to make sure you're aware of how long it will take to get your travel visa.
I was kind of surprised when I was reading material prior to our conversation that Australia, which we always consider America on the other side of the planet, has very different and stringent requirements to come in.
That's true, and so do a lot of other countries that you might not expect. So that's why it's important to go on that State Department website and click on that country, and it'll tell you what the requirements are for not only the local laws but also the travel into those countries. And just remember, here's a surprise that a lot of people don't anticipate, is there are sometimes, most times actually, exit and entry fees that are charged, so you have to budget for that as well.
And those are the surprises.
Those are the surprises, like taxes.
Big surprise for a lot of folks, and it was a surprise for Duffy and me, because since it is John Patrick Michael McMahon, we spend as much time as possible in Ireland.
That's
but in renting a car in Ireland, it's not as simple as going here to Hertz.
No, and I think Ireland is one of the countries that has a zero tolerance for alcohol. But if you... Surprise, that's true. So if you want to go to a country and drive, first thing is you need to check with your insurance to see if it's if you're covered there. If you're not, which usually you're not, you have to get insurance in that country, and usually the rental car agency can provide that to you. But remember, there's always going to be exclusions to coverage. If for example, some countries' policies don't allow coverage if you've been speeding or driving drunk. Mexico, for example, is a country that if you have the insurance there and you are in an accident and alcohol's been involved, you're not covered.
And if I'm arrested?
Then you should contact the U.S. Consulate or embassy closest to where you are. And another point is that you should register with the consulate or embassy in the countries that you are planning on visiting.
Boy, there's so many things that you really ought to check out before you take that next international vacation. You may want to check it out with the Radix Law Firm, R-A-D-I-X. And if you don't spell that easily, you can spell AZTV.com, hopefully, every morning. Sandy.